After failure, the most urgent question is not how to move forward, but whether God will still go with us. Exodus 33 opens in the aftermath of Israel's sin with the golden calf, and God's words are sobering. He tells Moses that the people may proceed toward the promised land, but his presence will not go with them in the same way. This reveals a truth that cuts deeply. Progress without God's presence is not blessing. In Exodus 33:15, Moses responds with clarity and courage, saying, "If your presence does not go with us, do not send us up from here." Moses understands that land, success, and destiny are meaningless without God himself. God's response shows the heart of covenant relationship. In Exodus 33:17, the Lord reassures Moses that his presence will go with them, not because Israel deserves it, but because Moses has found favor in his sight. Grace restores what disobedience threatens to destroy. Yet, God's presence is never automatic. It is sought, valued, and pleaded for. Spiritual maturity is revealed when believers prioritize God's presence above outcomes. This longing for presence takes a humble and unexpected form in John 13:1-17. On the night before his crucifixion, Jesus washes the feet of his disciples. Verse 1 reminds us that Jesus loved them to the end. God's presence is not only majestic, it is servanthood. By washing their feet, Jesus reveals that intimacy with God reshapes power. Those who dwell with him are called to humility, not self-importance. Presence transforms posture. Psalm 54 echoes the cry of dependence, declaring in verse 4, "Surely God is my help. The Lord is the one who sustains me." When God's presence is valued, trust replaces fear. The psalmist's confidence is not in strength or strategy, but in God's nearness. Presence sustains where circumstances threaten collapse. Paul concludes his letter in 1 Corinthians 16 with practical exhortations, reminding believers to stand firm, be courageous, and do everything in love. These closing words show that God's presence shapes everyday faithfulness. Spiritual life is not sustained by dramatic moments alone, but by steady obedience rooted in God's abiding nearness. Today, consider what you are pursuing most. Is it progress, success, or God's presence? Like Moses, may we learn to say that nothing is worth gaining if God does not go with us. Where his presence remains, grace restores, humility grows, and faith endures.